It is 12 o'clock, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Can I get verification of posting?
July 22nd, 2026 by 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Here we have our invocation.
Invocate. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all you've given us, and I pray that you'd be with us today. And pray for rain if you feel necessary to give it to us. And I pray that you'd be with council today as they make decisions for the city and bless them. And I pray that you'd watch over everybody in here and represented and as they go home today. And I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, if we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay. Number 5 on the agenda is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting, June 23rd, 2026, which was our budget workshop. I'll give y'all a minute and then entertain a motion.
Move to accept the minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have the consent agenda. Is there anything y'all would like to, well, we don't have anything in the consent agenda. I'm sorry. B is discussion of possible action regarding the Bosque Arts Center request of $3,500 from the Hotel Motel for their 2026 quilt auction competition on August 7th and 8th, 2026.
Hello, Council and Mayor, City Manager, thank you. Here again, asking for money. This year is the actual 10th anniversary for the quilt show here in Bosque County. We had to skip 2020, so this is the celebration of the 10-year one. This year, we're really excited. We have 83 quilts on display this year. 81 of them are for competition, and the other 2 are for display only. We had a great crowd last year, and we're hoping to once again increase our numbers this year. We had over 400 last year in attendance, and we think with additional advertising, which this grant provides for us, that we can increase those numbers again this year. Last year I asked for 4,000. This year I asked for 3,500 because you may have noticed the blocks that we recently put up on the corner of 219 and 6. We had to make those last year, so that's what the extra money was for. They're up now, and I'm also planning on doing some TV and some radio in the area, and of course Facebook. We all can't live without Facebook. So I'm hoping that you will pass and provide us with this extra money for advertising this year.
Do y'all have any questions for Deb? All right, if not, entertain a motion.
For your tabs.
C, oh, it's on C.
Sorry, I
Okay,
messed up
that's
on
where
yours.
it was. Well,
I messed up
C,
on
C
yours.
is on mine, so that's where I was looking everywhere for. So there's the motion. Make a motion that we approve the request of $3,500 from Bosque Arts Center from Hotel Motel for their 2026 quilt show competition on August 7th and 8th, 2026.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you very much, appreciate it, and we hope you'll all come to the quilt show.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is C. It's discussion by Steve Harr on the Bosque Central Appraisal District's 2027 proposed budget. Steve, we appreciate you coming back to answer some extra questions.
And we may end up coming back yet once again. There were a couple of questions from the mayor, and then she had indicated at that time, Will, you're not here, that he might have some questions. Well, we got those yesterday. There are 18 of them. They are very good questions. They are very detailed questions. And so what we did in the time frame from yesterday afternoon to today is we prepared a complete written answer to all of those questions. And that way, we don't spend 45 minutes of your time today doing this, with the offer that what I'll do is give this to Councilman Murdoch and let him look at it. And if he has any questions, certainly invite him to contact the people at the district. They know a lot more about it than Doug Keita or me. But still, if that's still not enough, we will come back till this cake is cooked. So let me give that to you, sir. Those are the answers that we put together to the questions you posed. And again, I say on behalf of our board, this is what's supposed to happen. We put together a budget. It's a preliminary. People are supposed to ask questions. We're supposed to give answers. So we're thrilled that you did so. We're not offended by that at all. Second, you had asked two questions. One was about travel reimbursement, and the other was about auto allowance. The travel reimbursement question was, what is that, I guess, essentially? And it really is for when all of these people, not all of them, but certainly the appraisers and some of the other people have to take training. So they have to travel to take the training and come back. And that is really is truly travel-oriented, food, hotel, lodging, the kind of things that people do to keep up their minimum educational requirements and otherwise. The auto allowance is as you anticipated. You had asked, I read in your budget that certain numbers are allocated particularly to Chris and to Justin and to Michelle. And so what they did was they looked back, and this started not this year, but I think last year, and I may be wrong about that, but it's prior to this. They looked back at overall, what are we annually paying these three people in, or the people that are in that allocation? What are we annually paying them? And we came up with an average, and we just plugged that number to do that, rather than all the paperwork and tracking and all that goes with if you were doing it by the mile or what have you to do it. So it was an effort to simplify it for us, but also to hit the same targets we've been hitting for the last several years. So that's the answer to the auto allowance question.
The other one was health insurance. And
Yes.
my recommendation, it's just me and y'all are the ones in charge, but if health insurance was slid in there to help compensate salary at one time, I would just, in the form of transparency, roll that up into salary so it's not just lumped into everybody else's health insurance for something that no one else receives.
Right. The whole health insurance issue, I think, has been well presented by not just you and Clifton City, but others have raised the same question, that if you're going to these raises and you're trying to get people to market and you think you've gotten them pretty close to market, then do you really have to do that? Because it was a Band-Aid a couple of years ago to solve a short-term problem. So that's clearly on our mind. We hear you.
Welcome. Does anybody else have any questions for Steve? Or Doug?
Or Justin, or Doug.
Justin.
We have the whole team here. Anyway, we're happy to come back too as it goes. Yeah, I'm sure that Mr. Murdoch will give that to Ms. Zulke, and everybody will get a copy of it. You can all read it. You'll be very impressed with your councilman, by the way.
I was very impressed.
His analytical dismembering of our budget.
I appreciate all three of y'all coming and the due diligence of trying to explain to us things.
Damaris, could I just make one comment?
Absolutely, Doug.
I
Come on
think
up.
it's a comment that's pervasive throughout the county right now, in all aspects of the county government. The big issue, Ronnie and I, God bless his soul, but he would always come out and complain he couldn't get people to work on his road crew. And I say, Ronnie, people, there's a market for there's a market for people, and you have to meet the market. And the underlying theme of our budget, which you'll read in this document, is we're trying to meet the market. We've got institutional knowledge of 13 or 14 years. You want to retain it.
Just a bunch of copies.
And I'm sure that the city's seeing the same thing. Getting people is difficult. And if you want to pay them under the market, it's really difficult. So it's just an observation, because I read Darcy Ragsdale's comment in the Clifton Record a couple weeks ago, where she did her own study, independent of everybody, and said the whole county's underpaid.
This is
So
totally true.
I suspect your guys are under those pressures as well.
Even the ones that work for free.
Yeah, believe me, I understand that too.
We're on the same.
Anyway,
On the same payment plan.
I think it's something we all need to be aware of as we work around the community, that, nothing's for nothing in the world today.
Sure.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out. Sorry to interrupt you.
Nope, that's good. Thank you, Mr. Keita. All right, moving on to D is discussion and possible action regarding approval of contract with the Texas Department of Transportation for the temporary closure of FM 219 between Avenue D and Avenue F from 8 p.m. on August 16th, 2026 through 8 p.m. on October 17th, 2026. Haley?
Council. So this closure is for Fall Fest. The agreement between TxDOT and the city, we have to go to council for council to grant us that permission to sign a contract or an agreement with TxDOT and read a resolution. That's their guidelines. But this is the 25th annual Fall Fest, and this, I know Damaris has poured her heart and soul into Fall Fest, and I have hoped to do the same in my last 3 years of managing this event. And that being said, we have outgrown just our little bit of street closures that we do down here. We also have a lot more business on the opposite side of 219. That being said, we really think from a safety standpoint and a square footage standpoint for vendors that the closure of 219 for that day is very important and something that we need to do. We looked at doing it last year with the closure of the bridge and just some other factors. It wasn't feasible, but this year I think that it will be feasible, and I have spoken with TxDOT. We can fill out this agreement. Of course, we have to go into their study. It's not a for sure thing, but they are great to work with, and I think that they'll be pretty agreeable to close it down for the hours that we're asking for. Essentially, it's 24 hours. And we only are doing 8 p.m. the day before because we do have people come and set up the night before. And any way around that, we just haven't figured out in the years past how to not have some vendors need extra time to set up. So that being said, that's our plan, and I'm happy to answer any questions about the event or the route that we're proposing you might have.
Any questions? Do y'all think that TxDOT will be as apt to close it for 24 hours as they would be to close it at 6 a.m. the day of?
That's a negotiation with them. I'm going to propose, I'm going to shoot big and then come back down. But in the years past, they have closed it for 24 hours when it has been closed. In the last agreement that I have, I believe was 2019, that they did close, or the agreement, not sure if it was put into place or not, but the agreement was for 24 hours. So I'm gonna ask for 24. If they say less, then I'm fine with that, but we'll see.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I
I'll
move-
make-
Oh, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve a contract with TxDOT for the temporary closure of 219 between Avenue D and F from 8 PM on October 16th through 8 PM on October 17th.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is E, discussion and possible action in regards to Resolution 260-714-1 for the temporary closure of FM 219 between Avenue D and Avenue F from 8 PM on October 16th, 2026 through 8 PM on October 17th, 2026 to authorize the agreement between the City of Clifton and the Texas Department of Transportation. Would you like to?
Sure. Resolution number 260-714-1, whereas the state owns and operates a system of highways for public use and benefit, including Farm to Market 219 in Bosque County, and whereas the city has requested the temporary closure of FM 219 between blocks Avenue D and Avenue F for the purpose of 25th Annual Fall Fest in downtown Clifton, as described in the attached Exhibit A, hereinafter identified as the event. And whereas the event will be located within the city's incorporated area, and whereas the state, in recognition of the public purpose of the event, wishes to cooperate with the city so long as the safety and convenience of the traveling public is ensured, and that the closure of the state's right-of-way will be performed within the state's requirements. And whereas on the 28th day of July, 2026, the Clifton City Council passed resolution number 260-714-1, attached hereto and identified as Exhibit B, establishing that the event serves a public purpose and authorizing the city to enter into this agreement with the state. And whereas 43 TAC Section 22.12 establishes the rules and procedures for the temporary closure of a segment of the state highway system, and whereas the agreement has been developed in accordance with the rules and procedures of 43 TAC Section 22.12, now therefore, in consideration of the premises and of the mutual covenants and agreements of the parties hereto, to be by them respectively kept and performed as hereinafter set forth, it is agreed as follows. Signed this day, the 28th of July, 2026.
And if y'all will notice, behind tab D is the actual map and a Google picture.
And the event map is subject to change. We're working around some things.
Okay. And you'll just come back for a formal?
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution 260-714-1 for the temporary closure of FM 219 between Avenue D and F from 8 PM October 16th through 8 PM October 17th, 2026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item F on the agenda is discussion and possible action in regards to appointing the mayor, mayor pro tem, city administrator, and finance manager as a committee to adjust accounts and move accounts as necessary for the mid-year and year-end corrections to be brought back to the council in the August and October meeting for approval.
What this is, council, is we've talked to y'all about forming this committee, and one of the past meetings, and this is basically to not bombard y'all with a lot of line items. So what we'd like to do is go ahead and have this committee put together, and we go through and adjust the budget line items within the budget itself, and correct them, any overages or anything like that that needs to be corrected, and then bring them back, and we will put those in red to show you what has been corrected. And so y'all will be voting on the mid-year, which we're making, we'll make these adjustments next week, this week, after these approvals, and bring that back to you in the August meeting, and in the September meeting, we will have to do the year-end projections at the end also.
For October.
In October, excuse me.
Do y'all have any questions, or? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to appoint mayor, mayor pro tem, city administrator, and finance manager as a committee to adjust accounts and move accounts as necessary for the mid-year and year-end corrections to be brought back to the council in August and October meetings for approval.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is G, discussion and possible action in regards to approving the purchase of 2 aeration blower motors to be installed at the sewer plant for the cost of $34,880 from Jurgensen Pump. This will be purchased out of our certificate of obligation.
This was one of the smaller projects that we brought to y'all. Actually, the price we thought was going to cost a lot more, so that's good. We saved quite a bit of money on this, but I'm going to let Josh kind of describe what the blower motors do. So, Josh, in layman's terms, and
So these blowers are the lifeline of the sewer plant. They create air, which the bugs like. And right now we have 3 big blowers and 2 small. The 2 are for pre-aeration and for the digester, all after it's all done with and we get rid of it. The 3 big ones just keep everything, all the bugs happy, and right now, 2 of the, they're just, one of them's not running and the other ones we've reworked and reworked and reworked, so it's time to replace. So.
if y'all don't know what bugs are, they're the bacteria that eat everything. So-
Right.
They also help keep the smell down.
And keep the smell down.
Keeps it from smelling
Good
really
bugs.
bad.
Kat, do you have any questions?
Okay, what do I gotta do to approve this?
Anybody else have any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the purchase of 2 aeration blower motors to be installed at the sewer plant for the cost of $34,880 from the Jurgensen pump to be purchased out of the CO.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next is H, discussion and possible action in regards to the interlocal agreement between Bosque County and the City of Clifton for a special election.
It's just what anytime we do an election or anything we're sharing with the county, we sign these agreements. So it's basically, we do have an election coming up for street sales tax coming up in November. So that will be considered our special election.
Do y'all have any questions?
I move we approve the interlocal agreement between Bosque County and the City of Clifton for a special election.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, now we've moved to the meat of the meeting, which is it's our budget workshop. I'm gonna let David do most of the going through this today.
What y'all have in front of you, council, is basically 24, 25, and 26. The budget will not actually look that way when we post it. It'll look more like like this, I'll take those columns out and kind of shorten it down a little bit. I just wanted to kind of see some past numbers. Some of those numbers have not been corrected, such as our interest numbers, so they will be a little lower. And what I've done is taken the proposals from staff's budgets, and then I've added a few things, and then myself and the mayor talked about the budget a little bit yesterday. And so basically gave y'all to review it. If y'all have any questions, this is just our first go at the budget right here. Things will change. I was telling the mayor this morning, I've already found where we've got an extra $152,000 in there we don't need to spend, so I'll pull that out of the budget. That'll be a loan item, so the next budget I bring to y'all will be
Told him to keep looking.
basically, right now, and I know Councilman Qualls had brought up last year about deficit budgeting. Right now, this is about $250,000 on the general side in the deficit. And like I said, we're just realizing more expenditures that we can pull out of it and then give you all a balanced budget. If you look at the revenue side, the water is going to look a little off. I say it's off, it's not off. It's just going to be, we're spending more in the water and surface water department just because we have large expenditures there. But then the surface plant and, the sewer plant and garbage fees make up for that, to where we are actually in the black about $50,000 for our revenue side.
And some things that we went through yesterday, since last year was a little monotonous trying to do item by item, David and I did that. And actually, Kat and Cassie has sat down with this line item by line item. But there were things that I thought maybe we were budgeting too much. But there were good reasonings behind that. And I want y'all to look at 450 on the revenue side. And it's under court fines. So court fines and then miscellaneous, we're going to combine those. Right, Cassie?
That is correct.
So somehow those got on two line items for the miscellaneous. So if you'll look, when we're looking at that revenue and you went across, you were like, well, we've only brought in 49,000. Well, no, we've brought in a lot more than that because we combined the 49 and the 224. So that is one example. Cassie has spent hours trying to get this so y'all could go back and see what our previous years, or what this last previous year has done. She's been up here on the weekends. Do y'all have any questions on some of these things?
What we try to do, council, is take everybody's request and put in as much as we can. We do know that if you look at the current budget right now compared to last year's numbers, we're about a 4% increase. Really, the cost of the interest and all that, I guess, is roughly about 4% from last year to this year on the increases. So that's about where we're at. And also, if you put in there, we put in there for employees under COLA raises and merit raises, I put in a 4%. Cost of living right now goes anywhere from about 2.9 to about 4.4. So I just averaged it out to about 4% COLA and merit raise. And we have not had that in there in the past. And I just wanted to see, y'all wanted to see what each individual department is getting for COLA and merit raises also.
Can you talk about insurance a little? Insurance,
we met with the insurers in Texas the other day, myself and Taylor did. It's never good enough to meet with the insurance people. They suggested that some cities are going up 30-40%. We anticipated ours going up 20%, and the reason is because we are on Scott and White, which is kind of local to this area right here. And basically, what this company does is they go out for the city and go out on bids for the city. So they'll give us the top 3 bids of council. I could bring those to council and show you what the bids are. For the last several years, Scott and White has always come in lower because they're local from around here. We are currently on a PPO/HMO, which is kind of a hybrid that we've been on for several years. And so if we choose to go to something else, then that goes away. So that's kind of we're grandfathered in on this hybrid right now, which is not terrible insurance. Of course, none is good nowadays because it's just very, very expensive. And Richard can attest to this, and probably Rustin too. But anyway, if y'all would like to see those, I could bring those back to you whenever. That will probably be around October, November, just to show you what those bids came in for the city. And what they'll do is they send it out all over the state. They usually get about 8 or 9. They said they would give us the top 3 if we wanted to take a look at, or the bottom 3. But yes, they did say that a 20% increase, and that's what we put in there, is pretty much par for everybody this year.
On general administration, under in-house special events, Cassie has really worked on dividing things up to make it a little easier to read. So I had asked David a couple of questions yesterday, and I was just going to ask him to, or possibly Haley, to define how these have been split out now.
What that is, council, is in-house special events. That's basically our fireworks show. We pulled that out of Main Street. It didn't increase the budget. We just pulled it out of Main Street and put it over here. We decreased Main Street's budget down from $48,000 to $21,000. So we just reallocated it because Haley's Main Street, and she can explain that a little bit more on their certifications and all that, and what they have to do and what has to be in their budget. So we pulled a couple things out, and you'll also see I don't have it in y'all's budget right now, but under city administrator budget, we're also putting in a city marketing account in there, so that will be the $27,000, and I'll let Haley discuss that later on. We have a little presentation for y'all at 1 o'clock that shouldn't take more than 5 minutes from Placer AI, and it's basically the data information that she has been talking to y'all about to give us better data for businesses and all that for the downtown. A lot of these stayed the same. Several of them went up. Of course, we know asphalt went up, so because of oil, we did increase those line items for the street department. If you'll notice also in PD, I'll put they were asking for a car, so I'll put capital on the side of that. So that will come out of our capital line and not the base budget.
But he's being frugal.
Trying to be as frugal as we possibly
Used
can.
vehicle.
Yeah, Chief's getting a used vehicle for $55,000. He said that's fine. Also, in Public Works, we'll do the same thing. We'll get a used vehicle, and we're trying to fix the vehicles that we currently have and do some horse trading between Public Works and the police department. But you can go through the budget, you can see some of the line items. It'll say capital, or it'll say street repair tax. So those will not come out of the base budget. We'll actually pull those out of the funds that are required to do that, such as street sales tax and our cash reserves. Right now, currently, we're sitting at about 1.7 in cash, 1.7 and 1.6. So our cash reserves are pretty healthy right now.
David, can you define the projects for the $300,000 for the street projects?
Yeah, the $300,000 right now, we know for a fact that we're going to ask, we've been approved and we're going through the process at EDC for the downtown project. That is $300,000 that's going to be allocated out of that project from street sales tax. I'm currently waiting for Langerman on some core testing that y'all had asked Miles to do a couple meetings ago on the Avenue Q project. I do not have that in there right now because I do not have good numbers. So I would anticipate that would be roughly, I don't know, like Rustin said, well, that's all our budget, but currently we're sitting at about $622,000 in street sales tax. I will say, over the last month, EDC and street sales tax has benefited. We brought in $182,000 this year, which is the most we've ever done for this last month. We hope that trend continues, and that would be nice if it would just continue to trend that way. So basically, on the sales tax for the revenue, I didn't anticipate $182,000. I anticipated $140,000. That's where the $1.7 million comes from.
Haley, David had mentioned how y'all split some things. Can you define your in-house events and your marketing, promotions line?
Yes, so promotions, in the past, we've had a marketing line item and a promotions line item. They kind of both serve the same purpose in years past, but for the Main Street program, having a promotions, that is strictly to promote the program itself. So that is, for example, we pay for an advertisement space with Texas Downtown Association on their banners that they take to trade shows and around Texas. And so that would be an example as using that promotions line item for the Main Street program promotions. Marketing is, we've allocated that money for marketing citywide. So promoting our city, promoting just, for instance, fireworks show. If we ever run any paid ads for our city as a whole, that would be coming out of that marketing line item. It's just to kind of keep it separate from the program and the city itself. That's kind of why we split it up. Does that help explain?
If anybody had any questions, just to define that. And then, in talking with David and I talking yesterday, we are gonna add another cell phone to y'all's budget.
Yes.
So you'll both have phones. And is there something else?
I don't think so, no, on Main Street. We can go back to the swimming pool. Of course, we don't know what's gonna, the swimming pool is the gift that keeps giving, but we won't open this year because of some different things that have happened because of rain, and we had some concrete issues that we're working through. It'll probably be ready to go around September, October, whenever we can't swim. So, but anyway, I did add to the swimming pool. I don't know, added another $12,000 in revenue because we did increase prices for next year. I anticipate probably a lot more, but I like to underestimate than overestimate. And then on the pricing of the pool, we did add to electricity. We added for chemicals, stuff like, I mean, but this is all unknown. We might need more chemicals. I might need less chemicals. So
That depends on the temperature a lot of
depends on
times.
what we're doing. We're hoping we need less because we can stabilize with chlorine now. We're not continuously putting fresh water in. So that's kind of what we did in the past, and we anticipate, at least for 3 years, we won't have any major expenses because things will still be under warranty.
Thank you. A little bit of water now.
We can. Y'all have any questions for Lewis in library? Lewis was the first one that had his budget into us. Imagine that, and we appreciate that. But it's basically just across the board, and I don't know if you, Lewis, do you have anything you say about your budget, or you?
Basically, the only increases were salary and telephone, internet. We're kind of under budget at that this year. Other than that, that's really about the only increase we're looking for. Going to remain the same on the books and just about everything else.
Oh, Cassie, if y'all will notice, we've added the finance line items department in there. And the only thing we've left off of that was a little line item for uniform for finance and a phone.
We corrected that today.
Oh,
That is
okay.
done today, so it's,
You had already printed all this out.
and, yeah, we'd already printed this out, and I just want to, and that'll be, by the time y'all get this budget in, at our next budget workshop in August, it'll pretty much be a finalized budget ready to go.
Okay.
Water did increase. Our chemicals have increased. Our staffing salaries have increased. We will be bringing y'all some proposals in the August meeting on some possible increases in water and increases on sanitation, and that will be at our next meeting. But we can't stay status quo and have a $7 million loan without having raising some prices of our fees. Some departments went down, some departments went up because of the allocations in the salaries. If you'll notice, utility billing went down because our old utility billing is now our finance and our city secretary. And so we reallocated different salaries to that. What we're trying to do as we do this every year is to get more and more to where we know exactly what things are costing us. We're trying to put fuel in the right places. We're trying to put, even office supplies, even as small as that is, put it in the right places so we know how much the library costs. And I know we've harped on that for a while, and we're starting to see what things are actually costing us. Because in the past, if everything's all together, I don't know if we need a water increase. I don't know if we need a water decrease. But if we're showing, if they're all individualized and we know what they cost, then it tells us what we need to do with our fees. At this time, I would like for Renee to come up and talk about the meters. That is, if you look in the revenue side under the water meters, we've increased that from 20,000 to 145,000. And that's what we talked to y'all last time about getting new meters. And then out beside that, I don't have it, but that will be a capital outlay project. So that will not be a base budget project. That'll be a capital project. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'd like to add to this. This is not a request that we're making to make more money. This is a request to actually make the money we've been giving away for a very long time. And this will, if we decide to do this and put these meters in and start updating our old meters, water bills, they will start being read more accurately. And people are gonna think that we've raised that, and we have not. It's just, everyone's been very fortunate for a while now to have gotten very, very cheap water. But Craig has sat down and talked to us, and Renee has even mentioned TSEC is gonna come in pretty soon and say, you'll need to do some things. And this is gonna be one of their requirements for us to have all this up to date. So, Renee?
So initially, whenever we got the grant to put in the electronic meters, it was for the residential side, so all the residential homes got electronic meters. This is to convert all of the commercial meters to electronic meters. Because as it is today, there's still me and somebody else go once a month, and we'll go read them by hand. Approximately about 200 meters they would read by hand. And so this is basically to update those. And I've got here, I'm sorry I don't have copies for each one, but this is basically, this is the billing for Johnny's Restaurant. And if you'll notice, this is from January 25 to today, the present. So this is the amount that they were getting billed when they had just the manual old meters, basically. And whenever the old meters go bad, it benefits the customer, not the city. So we lose revenue on that. But if you notice here, this is the date, this is the monthly bill, the total. And then in June is whenever we installed the electronic meter, and if you notice, there's an uptick in revenue. So that's basically this meter paid for itself in about 2 or 3 months, and that's what we're hoping the rest of the meters, whenever we update them, they're gonna pay for themselves, and we won't lose out on that revenue. And that's just a breakdown. These new electronic meters, they're pretty fancy, so it's 3 parts. There's a body, there's an encoder head, and there's an endpoint. And these are basically just all the parts that it takes to set up the meter. So we're just basically looking to update the rest of the commercial meters to electronic meters. It'll in the end, it'll benefit everybody, because if there's a leak, if you have the app, it'll notify you right away, and the city's not losing water, and the customer's not having to pay, that extra money for the leak. So, and they're more accurate.
So we think that this would be a capital outlay project that would pay itself back over time. We're not saying it pay it back in 2 to 3 months, but, possibly in 1 to 2 years.
Well, I mean, just that meter, as you can see the numbers, I mean, it paid for itself in 2 or 3 months. So we're gonna see, I think, a good bit of revenue increase from, especially on the bigger businesses like the hospitals and the nursing homes. You're gonna see, quite a bit of revenue increase.
So what we're talking about is just commercial?
Just commercial, yeah. All the residentials already have them, this is just commercial.
What the lifespan on these things is?
So they come with a warranty. I believe it's 10 years on. So this is basically, the encoder is basically the brain that stores all the information. The endpoint, it's basically, it transmits the information. So I believe on these, it's either vice versa. It's like a 10 to 20 year warranty. And I've already had to replace quite a few, and I have had no issues. So whenever I replace them, I'll get about 25, I'll send them in, and then they'll send us the replacements for free. So about a 10 to 20 year warranty on those.
These new ones have any sort of self-diagnostic system checks to let us know when they're starting to get a little bit off?
They do. So they'll send, we've got a software, and of course you can look at it on your side as well. If you download the Ion Beacon app, it'll tell you, hey, there's a leak, or we think there's a leak, or you can even track your usage. So you know exactly how much you're, if you think you're using too much water, you can cut back. So, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was your question again?
Do they have any system checks, self-checks?
Oh, yeah. So the software, yeah. So we've got the Ion Water, the Beacon software, and that allows us to see every meter, and if there's
This meeting is being recorded.
if there's any errors, then it'll notify us.
Okay. So it won't be the problem again where they're just slightly off over time?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Awesome.
We can also have them tested. I think there's a certain curve that they have to be pretty accurate. So.
Okay.
And then Renee, after 20 years and something happens, it's like the battery that has to be replaced. Is that the way I've understood?
Yes, ma'am. It's the endpoint there. So that's basically the battery that transmits the information. Some of them have started going bad early, but like I said, I've had no issues when I do the return on them. I've had no issues with getting new ones back under warranty.
You want to explain, Renee, also about the installation process too? How long does it take y'all, 1 meter a day? Because that takes manpower out of the
Yes, it
workforce.
does. So it depends on, best case scenario, the meter is perfectly in the center of the box, and we don't have to dig anything up, and we can just basically unscrew the meter and pop a new one in. Worst case scenario, we have to dig up the box. Some of them are in cement, some of them we're gonna have to cut out of cement and things like that. So once we get, if we get these the funds to do this. It's gonna be a process, probably a 2-3 month process to get everything in the ground.
And how many are we talking about first off?
We're looking to replace everything. It's about 100, it's roughly about 150 to 200 meters that we're looking to replace on the commercial side.
And that's the 131,000, that's the cost?
Yes.
Okay.
And so I've broken it down here, the cost of each meter. Now, there's different size meters as well. So this is basically the price of the endpoint, the encoder, and then the total price of 1 meter with everything on it. And these are just different sizes. Of course, different houses have different sizes. Businesses have different size meters. So some of them are, the smaller ones are not as expensive. When you get on your larger side from about 2 inches above, they get a little pricey, but again, they will pay for themselves over time.
Also, I'd like to add too, from the production side, the water loss that we will be able to recoup from the new meters. You know, TCEQ, eventually, they're gonna tighten down the straps on that. Right now, it's just a voluntary thing, but this will help us a lot.
That's one of the other things that TCEQ is being nice about right now.
Yeah.
It's the loss of water that's just going through.
Yeah, we have to account for all loss of water, so when Renee and Josh and Craig do their paperwork at the end of the year, they have to anticipate on how much water due to evaporation or just leakage or water loss goes through, because TCEQ in the future will want to know how much water is being lost through the systems.
And some of these meters are pretty old. Some of them are probably pushing 20, 30 years old. So they've kind of run their lifespan, so it's definitely time to replace them.
Do y'all have any further questions, Renee? No. We'll be talking about this more, I'm sure.
Thank you, Renee.
So thank you. You go.
That was our biggest capital item that we were looking at. There's another one in there that's basically just a truck for Public Works of $55,000. But like I said, if we do some horse trading with PD, there's some areas that we might not need that truck. And also, we would not purchase it till the end of the year just to find out where we're at.
And right now, that's not marked capital, unless y'all did that today.
I just marked it capital, so the
Okay.
$55,000 would be actually in the Public Works budget,
Right.
and it would be marked capital. Just like the water meters, it was not marked, so it'll be marked capital, so. Sewer plant, the reason we're not asking for a lot at the water plant and the sewer plant is we're anticipating the certificate of obligation to take care of a lot of our big requests that we have talked to y'all about in the past. So a lot of that stuff is being taken care of as we speak. We're going out on bids. We should have some information hopefully by the October-November meeting, so we can at least start on our clear well, which we do not want that shut down in the summertime. We would rather it be shut down in the wintertime when our water usage is a lot less. And so those will be some bigger projects. The screw press will be coming up here pretty soon, and those will all be taken out of the CO. Cat's favorite things.
Is this one, did y'all change this update?
Yes, there, if you look under, it says down at the bottom, the bond series 2005, that was basically paid off this year. Cassie just today changed it over to the 2025 certificate of obligation, and that's what that 489,113 is. And also, if you look underneath at the USDA loan to 9202 for $152,000, that's to basically pay our principal payment for this year's CO. So that's what I was referring to. We can possibly take that out of the baseline budget. I know that Haley has somebody right now that would like to speak to us about Placer AI for a brief. Are they ready, Haley?
We're ready, yeah, we're ready.
Okay. So if y'all would like to listen to that, should make a brief presentation. Chris just dropped the computer. So,
And just a precursor, when we put him on, so I had them, go ahead, thanks. And they asked me what I wanted demoed for you guys to see the numbers, and I asked him to do our most recent large fluctuation of people, which was the fireworks on the Bosque. And so I asked them to, which I would be interested to see what they give us, but I asked them to give us traffic and credit card usage, not just in Main Street District, but citywide. So we're gonna see what they have. So I'm gonna go ahead, if you guys are ready, and introduce you guys. And hi, Ryan. We're ready, if you are.
Hi, how are you doing? Yep, absolutely. I saw you join the meeting early, so I hopped in. I appreciate you you being ready. I'm sorry about that, coming a little early.
Yes, and I just want to show you, I have our city council here. And so we're all going to listen to the demo and see a little bit about what you guys have to offer. So we're ready for you when you are.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, hi everybody. It's nice to see everybody quickly. Just wanted to, I guess, make sure we're still good for about 45 minutes, or how much time do we have?
Oh, we really only have around, like, can you give us something really short, like 10-ish, 15 minutes? And then maybe we can hop on a little later to get some more information from you. I really just want them to see how the system works as they're thinking about doing the budgeting process on if this is a good fit for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I can absolutely condense it, and then, then we can connect later and go more in depth. Quick question for you, I guess, just high level. Can you tell me, what exactly you're missing right now that you are looking to get with a data analytics platform like Placer?
Really just numbers in general. We really don't have a way of data collecting unless it's boots on the ground. And as you know, that's very time consuming. And we need something to really continue to justify our growth.
Okay, awesome. Well then, I will really quickly, high level, show you what we are, and then we'll jump into the platform, and I'll show you how we can do that, and then happy to do a follow-up meeting if anybody wants to see a deeper dive as well. You guys all see this, my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna go to the beginning here. So what we are the leader in privacy preserving location intelligence. We have over 4,500 customers in 30 plus industries. This slide's a little old. We have about 1,800 civic organizations that we work with, probably a couple hundred just in northern Texas alone. In your area, we work with Cleburne, Chamber of Commerce, Corsicana, Ennis, Alvarado, Joshua, Crowley, Granbury, just to name a few. But we're working with a lot of your different civic peers as well. We work with cities, we work with economic development organizations, tourism authorities, park districts, universities, whole host of different civic avatars. Best way for me to describe this to you is think about a third-party app on your phone. So something like a weather app or a sports betting app, where it makes sense to double up into your location services sharing being turned on. We partner with these apps, and basically we have a panel of 30 million devices. It's statistically significant where we can extrapolate that out to the total population to give you guys data for any location in the United States. So any county in the United States, anything we can geofence, we can give you analytics on. So that could be, a park trail, that could be one, small retail location, that can be a city or a market or a region as a whole. But we geofence it and then give you those insights. We're making sure that this is accurate so that you're able to actually generate actionable insights. Because if the data is not accurate, it doesn't make any sense for you guys to use this data. What makes us different is our unparalleled accuracy. Like I just talked about, we need to make sure it's accurate. We're seen to be 98% accurate. We have a large breadth of coverage, so every county in the United States, we can geofence any county in the United States and look at it a lot of different ways. If you do an event that's not just like one location, but it's spread out over a couple of blocks, we can get really granular with how we draw those geofences. And then privacy is really important to us as well. So we don't collect any PII, so no personalized identifiable information. I work for the company. If you said, hey, Ryan, I'll give you $1 million if you tell me whose device this is, I can't do it. We don't collect any of that information. We think that's important in terms of privacy. Then it also helps us, as privacy laws change and update, we're not at any kind of risk of losing our data because we don't collect any of that data. At a high level, these are a couple of the use cases that we see different civic organizations use Placer for. Just from talking with my colleague a little bit, it sounds like you guys are kind of interested in basically some retail analysis and recruitment, some event analysis, marketing and reporting, supporting local businesses. Is there anything else in here, that really jumped out to you in terms of what you care about?
No, I think that really covers it.
I mean, sales tax estimation. would
Yeah,
be-
so just sales tax estimation, that's a good one as well.
Okay, so everything I'm going to show you today will be base platform. We do have add-ons where we can do retail sales and give you transaction data. But I will say, our base platform, you can basically, based on visitation data, you can estimate sales tax. And I recently had a city basically use this to estimate sales tax. They unlocked another 10% of their budget because they were confident in the sales tax numbers that they were able to get throughout the year. Jumping over the platform here. So this is our explore page. It's basically like Google Maps. You type in an address. We can look at a property, a market, or a traffic pin. These are going to be things that we already have geofenced in our platform. That being said, if we don't have something, you would just request this location from our team, and they get back to you in 1 to 2 days. It's a really easy process. You click a button, you request a location. But if you guys are in a board meeting and you're like, hey, I really need to look at this right away, I don't have time to wait for the 1 to 2 days, you can always use our POI tool to draw a custom point of interest, and then geofence it yourself and get insights in real time that way as well. Opening up, I just opened up this full site gas station to basically illustrate kind of what we're talking about today. This is a specific property report. What you're going to see is our AI is going to pull up a competing property just to give you something relative to compare it to. You can always take this away. You can compare up to 8 different properties side by side at one time. We also have a large breadth of data, so you can go back to 7 years worth of data. So even if we geofence something today, you could look at year over year, year over 2 years, year over 3 years, year over 4 years, all the way back to 7 years worth of data. We're also near real time, so that's where that sales tax estimation comes in. We have about a 3-day lag time. So you do a July 4th event, by July 7th, we can start pulling those numbers and looking at that data. In terms of filters, there's a whole different host of filters we can do. We're looking at the last 12 months. We could do 6 months, 3 months, 6 weeks, 4 weeks. We could also just do a specific month, a specific quarter, a specific year, or we could do that date range. So if you want to look at an event, a specific time period, we could do 1 day, we could do multiple days, we could do whatever you wanted to look at in terms of that date range. We could also put the same property side by side in 8 different time frames to compare it over time. We could look at fried chicken in the city, and we could put up 8 different fried chicken locations. We could also compare it to a location in a neighboring city to see how we compare side by side to something else that would be a potential competitor. Some advanced filters here. If you guys did like a Christmas festival and you just wanted to look at weekends, we could just filter for Saturdays and Sundays for November through December to just look at our Christmas festival dates. You could also do that hourly range. So if you do an event, it's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., we could throw in that time as well. And then if you want to put a visit duration filter, we could look at putting anywhere from 5 minutes to 150 minutes on how long somebody is staying to just pick up those pings. In addition to that, I'm sure you guys are interested in who's coming to and from the area and where they're coming from. We could put a home distance filter on here, and we could put 250 miles. We could put 50 miles, whatever you deem important to look at the demographics of somebody that's coming into the city that's not actually a local resident. We could also put less than and do less than 10 miles, add another location that's exactly the same and do more than 10 miles and compare the demographics side by side of who's coming from, within 10 miles, who's coming from, over 10 miles or whatever distance that you choose. Next, you're going to see these metrics. So this is our all subs full site in purple. This pinkish red is our competing one in Whitney, Texas. This is going to be visits, visitors, visit frequency. So it's visit frequency times visitors to get our total number of visits. And again, this is for the last 12 months. And then we see visits year over year here as well. You can change a lot of different metrics here depending on what you want on top of there. All these are downloadable. You can customize and export these. You can print them. You get CVS, PDF, whatever kind of file that you need to download all these reports. We can also look at this visit trend aggregated daily. So if I take away our competing property, just take away some of the noise, we can see daily how this location trends over time throughout the year. We could also do weekly or monthly. And then if we see a specific point where there's a lot of people coming, we could click on it. Place or assist is going to give us some more detailed insights. So it's going to tell us the visits versus last year, visits versus previous Wednesday versus an average Wednesday, and then what the weather was like. If there were any holidays around this time or events, it would pull those up as well, just to give you some additional insight as to why there might be additional people coming. I know we're on a bit of a time crunch, so I'm going to go a little bit quick here. But we can look at hourly visits as well. So we can see the bell curve of when people are coming to an area and then when it trails off. This is good for events. This is also good for local businesses to understand, when people are coming, or for traffic patterns as well. We could look at our daily visits. Recently had the city of Austin increase a local shopping center by 20% over the week because they recognize what demographics during the weeks versus weekdays, or weekend versus weekdays, were coming to the area, and then they try different marketing techniques, and then we're able to measure that in real time. We can also see the visit duration, how long people are staying. Our average stay is 11 minutes, median stay is 8 minutes. Jumping over, just got three more quick things to show you. But basically we can look at a trade area. And so what this trade area is gonna be, it's gonna be a heat map of zip codes of where people are coming from to your property. So for this specific property, what we're going to see here is a local heat map. So this is going to be around the area. You're obviously going to have more visits from local people. But as we zoom out, we can see actually where people are coming from. So we got people from, as far as Washington, D.C., Richmond, Norfolk, a lot of people from Houston, Austin, we have people from Los Angeles. But we can get more granular than that, and we can look at specifically what zip codes people are coming from and how many visits from each zip code. This is all downloadable again. But this can be your top 100 zip codes. We could also compare this to another property. So if we were doing a competitive analysis of two different types of retail locations that were competitors, we could see what zip codes are getting more visits and what zip codes are getting less visits based on comparing the properties side by side, having it color coded on the map to show the total number of visits. Because also remove that, we could look at a year-over-year change. And so as travel and tourism or an event is going on that you do annually, we could look at what zip code specifically are we getting increases to this location or decreases. So 76634, we've had about a 19.7% decrease year-over-year to this specific location. And then from 76712, we have a 37.6% increase year-over-year to this location. So we're able to see how that changes in real time. We can also look at demographics. So what we're going to be looking at is census block groups for about 70% of our visits nationwide. And this is where people are coming from, what specific census block groups, and then we get demographic data for this as well. So we work with a whole host of data sets. Right now you're looking at Experian Mosaic. We're going to benchmark it statewide. To orient you, everything over 100 is over-indexed versus the benchmark. Anything under 100, we're under-indexed. So for O, singles and starters, we're at 129% compared to a statewide average. What that actually means, just copy and paste this into a tab, and then we can look at specifically full demographic breakdown report from Experian, and then how to market to those types of people as well. We also have, a whole host of different data sets. Just because we're on a time crunch, I'm not going to show you all these, but like STI pop stats is going to be more your typical demographic data that we look at. Households in poverty, average age, median age, gender, ethnicity, that type of demographic data. But we have a bunch of other ones that you could look at for economic data as well. Last, and then I might have lied, I got one last thing after this I'll show you, but we can show you visitor journey. So basically we can show you where people went before the property, going to the property, and then where they went after. So like somebody went to a Chevron, then they came to the full site, and then after they went to a Family Dollar. We could also look at specifically where their favorite places are for these people. So what this is telling us is of 100% of the people that went to our All Subs full site, 32.5% in this 12-month period also went to Central Texas Marketplace. We could look through a whole different host of data sets. We have 10 different pages here, or we could filter for specific categories to better understand, where they're going and what their behaviors are like. These are also really good opportunities to get some sponsorship dollars for an event that you're doing. You could show, 50% of your people are also going to this Chick-fil-A. Maybe we should have a sponsorship opportunity. Everything that I've shown you today, we can look at from a city perspective as a whole. So we could look at all the demographics as a whole from the city, favorite places, all that type of stuff. For something like economic development specifically, we could run a full retail leakage report where we could basically show you how many people are going out of market and what they're buying out of market in the top, in percentage of your residents, who's going out of market, and then this might be a good idea to go recruit somebody. We just had a city use this retail leakage report to show that everybody was leaving the city to go buy Chick-fil-A in a neighboring city. They used that to go get a Chick-fil-A to come into the city. They developed the Chick-fil-A, and then they got $250,000 in tax revenue for every year. So it was a 20x ROI on their place of subscription in the first year, and then it's recurring tax revenue as well, finding those the right economic development person or place to have come to the city. Last thing is a travel and tourism report. We could run a full travel and tourism report to show total trips, average monthly trips, how many visit nights you get, and then what the total visitor spend is to see the impact of tourism on the city. We can show where they're coming from, what their top spend categories are. We can do a full trend analysis, where their visitor origins are, what the best activities that are being paid for, what are overnight leakages, so we can quantify the dollars that are getting spent in neighboring cities, and then how that compares to a state leaderboard. That being said, I'm sorry, I think I went a little bit over, but I have about three more hours worth of stuff I can show you. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm happy to jump on any follow-up meetings as well.
Ryan, thank you so much for your time, and I will reach back out to you or Zari about scheduling a more in-depth for those who want to hear more about it. But I think you gave a great overview, and you have a great product, and we're gonna talk about it, and we'll be in touch with you guys soon.
Sounds great. Thank you guys so much, and like I said, I'm always happy to jump on another call. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll look out for an email, Haley.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Interesting. I think that'll be helpful for EDC and the city at the same time. So,
Haley, can you let us know how that system is billed out, how that would?
So it's on an annual subscription, so it's one time a year. Their base package starts at $15,000, but if we want to add the sales tax dollars, that sort of thing, it's around $20,000 to $21,000. But he can give me an actual quote. I can get that from him.
And am I correct? It's based on population.
Yes, yeah, that's why the $20,000 to $21,000 is the range for that add-on. But I guarantee you we'll be in the lower percentile of population there. But I can get all of those numbers in a paper quote for you guys. I just really wanted y'all to see the demo first to even see if it's something that interests you guys.
Do y'all have any questions?
in the next budget, you will see, we will put that, staff feels it's important, just from the city's perspective and EDC and business perspective. That will go in the marketing, new marketing account in the city administrator's line item. So, and then we'll bring that back. If y'all aren't interested in it, we just pull it right out.
And possibly, that might be something EDC would even be interested in sharing with us, because they would benefit also in knowing those numbers and recruitment. When businesses, our local businesses, are looking to expand, that would help them. Someone else coming to town, there would be numbers available for grants and things like that. It's wonderful. Hospital might even be able to use some of these numbers at certain times. So, Haley, I would love to see just the breakdown of the fireworks.
Yes, sorry, I thought
and where everybody
it was
came
a
from.
lot shorter time, which they told me it was a lot shorter time frame than what he said, 45. I was like, oh, no. But we can do, if there's anyone that wants to see the in-depth, I can have him send out a Zoom invitation for us to see that specifically, which I think he had on his agenda to do.
I think that would be very interesting. You know, because we sit and, I mean, I have for years and gone, and sort of think about how many thousand people are here, and this would actually give us some concrete numbers, a little bit more, where they're going, what our leakage is, what the city is actually receiving leakage from to recruit things. So, anyway. Next.
All right, do we have any other questions real quick on that, and I'll just move forward. Mike, I appreciate you coming out today. I've asked Mike to put, I would like him to, if you don't mind, come back in the August meeting also. The August meeting. And if you want to talk about today, our camera system that we're talking about, I mean.
It's whatever you guys need, I'm here to support.
Okay. Look, what I've asked Mike to do, and we've talked about linking our entire city and redoing our tower rentals and having somebody manage that possibly. And Mike would be putting together a presentation on that. What I would like to do is incorporate that part of it, because it's a large ticket item, into our CO, into the water plant, being able to talk to the sewer plant, being able to talk to, like a talkability. And Mike can explain that. I'm just a layman that just picked up some things yesterday. Mike is the expert on this.
Anybody wants to know anything about it now?
I mean, if you want to just give us a brief 5-minute what we talked about, Mike, if you don't mind, and that way we can expound on it in August.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, I should tell everybody I don't just sell appliances. I'm gonna give you some examples of projects we've done, and then you can see how it relates here. We provide connectivities for entire cities all over the United States. We've built 2,000 towers now and probably done 150 plus sites for cities, right? And in that connectivity, we also do massive construction sites. And all we're doing is getting all the little dots connected with typically high-speed internet. What you guys are needing is, you know, you need the data from any given point. You're gonna need to know, hey, what's the reservoir doing? And do we want a camera there or not? Don't need one, but we have monitors and meters, things we do of that nature. And all we do is build a comprehensive plan to be able to put all that together. Sounds really easy, and I guess for a lot of my team, it probably is, but for the layperson to try to design that and then build and manage it, it can be pretty tough. You know, the biggest issues I've seen here is the water tower. You guys are out of compliance on that. You've got some serious issues up there that are federally compliant. So that's part of what we'll attack. It's pretty straightforward. I think you have about 10 a dozen sites. We connect them all with internet. They all come back here. You end up having one bill. You're not having a bill for every site. You just pay for the infrastructure. You'll end up owning your own private network that through our company, we can show you guys how to monetize that and actually get a return on your investment on this pretty quick. So that's about it. Any questions?
I don't, thank you, Mike.
Okay.
If you don't mind, if we could get a little bit more expound on that.
We'll go in depth in August.
In the August meeting, and just kind of go over that.
Well, we've already done the site surveys on all the locations. The services we provided so far were been free of charge for the city because we live here and we love this place. So, but we'll give you a very extensive presentation then.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
And also what we're talking about also, council, is, I don't have it within the budget right now. They gave us a quote yesterday. I don't have that in there yet, is to
I have
put.
the updated one.
Yeah, the updated one, okay. Is to put cameras within City Hall, because we are out of compliance, because we do have court. We do have a court tech fund we can pull some money out of and put cameras on the outside, put cameras in the Civic Center, and know who's coming in and out of our building. I don't have really anything else right now, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Every time thank you, Cassie, and y'all, but Cassie's actually going in and doing it. It's getting cleaner without 80 billion line items, so I appreciate that. And getting all the,
Go ahead, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, just the people in the right, like for a long time, we'd look at the budget and it would be, oh, parks salary is, but this person's really over here in this place. So now everybody truly seeing what the salaries are and everybody's in the right spot. Thank you.
I don't have any other question. I don't answer unless y'all have any questions for me. Do y'all have any questions or any answers or? Okay. Chief, are you good back there? Okay.
Thanks for all your work, Connie.
Entertain a motion, adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion is second, meeting adjourned at 1:21.
We have pizza for council. It's in the kitchen.